Wait, the FBI and the CIA were involved in a bunch of scandalous activities to cover up something that the government did? Heyo, how's it hanging? It's your boy, ZNF1 here. So today, I thought I'd talk to you guys about the Watergate Scandal with President Richard Nixon. Now, the reason why I want to do this is sort of, show systemic corruption and to show you guys the power and, the rate at which, government bodies are willing to go to cover shit up and, associates of them are, too. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and cue intro. Alrighty, so June 17th, 1972, 5 men were arrested for breaking into the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee at the Watergate Hotel in Washington, D.C. So, a lot of these people were high-ranking officials, and a lot of them that were arrested or convicted happened to be people that were in the Nixon administration. And that was out of 48 people that were in total, convicted and sentenced, and out of 69 people that were tried for, this crime. So, Nixon was reelected, unfortunately, due to mainstream media kind of brushing this off. They're like, oh, he's the president, he can't be doing anything bad. And there wasn't, a whole bunch of, substantial or, a shit ton of evidence, that people would believe it, And then in 1973, these crooks were sentenced to prison. And they weren't very happy. Alright, so prior to this, former CIA agent E. Howard Hunt had been demanding hush money from President Nixon. And he had been receiving that money. Now, after this, whole trial happened and everything like that, also former CIA agent James McCord decided he didn't want to be a scapegoat and wrote a letter to the presiding judge. What he said inside that letter was that basically a lot of the people involved were high-ranking Republican officials that were connected to Richard Nixon. Then, on April 3rd, 1973, President Nixon requested the resignation of his two closest officials, Chief of Staff H.R. Haldeman and Domestic Policy Holder John Erickson. In addition to this, he also fired his White House consul, John Dean. Now, he also didn't want to be a scapegoat, so he participated in these trials as well, too. The U.S. Senate began public hearings on this in May 1973. June 1973, Mr. Dean revealed the discussions that he had with Nixon on the Watergate scandal plus the cover-up, including Howard Hunt's insistency for hush money. Now, he warned Nixon that this was bad, and this would, kind of tarnish the White House's image, in addition to his presidency. Nixon ignored this and continued covering things up even after his, advisor warned him otherwise. Nixon covered this up by having the CIA tell the FBI that there's nothing to worry about and that Nixon wasn't connected at all. Wait, you mean the CIA and the FBI are, involved in some systemic corruption scheme? Oh my god, what the fuck? Now, in addition to this too, I didn't mention this earlier, but one of the people convicted in the trial was also a FBI agent as well, too. So you can kind of see the connections between these two large governmental forces that are interconnected with each other. And the CIA is above the FBI, just so you guys are aware. I didn't know that until recently, but apparently that's how it works. It's CIA is above the FBI because they're the president's, special forces. It was later confirmed in July of that year that all conversations inside the Oval Office were recorded. A lot of people might not know this, but these tapes were installed due to Nixon's paranoia that people were out to get him. So the court subpoenaed these along with, the lead investigator, Archibald Cox. Nixon refused to give these over, and he also tried to get Cox fired. The two top law officials at the time out of the three that were asked to fire Mr. Cox resigned rather than comply with Nixon. However, Solicitor General Bork did this, though. Now, again, this shows systemic corruption on a pretty deep level. April 1974, Richard Nixon released edited transcripts of the tape recordings that he had in his office, or he tried at least. He was then sued to be compelled to hand over these transcripts and full recordings. He then was also impeached at the end of July 1974. And finally, on August 8th, 1974, he televised his resignation from office. Now, I feel like this is a prime example of systemic corruption and why people shouldn't blindly trust mainstream media and the government on things, when this is one of many cases where they do some really fucked up shit and they cover up things quite a lot to hide it. And it's not just, the government itself, it's government agencies, the CIA, the FBI, et cetera, et cetera. Both agencies had some involvement in it. It was mainly the CIA, but there's an FBI agent who's part of the act of the Watergate scandal itself, too. So, you guys got to pay attention to shit and be more observant, because honestly, now they're making it harder to find things, too, because they can cover up things a lot easier with freaking mainstream media and deep fakes and digital editing, et cetera, et cetera. They literally can edit things out and use it to sway you any which way they want if you're not being a critical thinker. But, with that being said, though, my dudes, I do hope that you guys found this to be enjoyable and enlightening. Now, if you guys did enjoy, please don't forget to, like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me whenever you guys do this, and it helps to show me what you're enjoying that I am creating for you. So, as usual, please don't forget to, live long and prosper, and take care and peace, mates. I'll see you guys later. Free!